4 left-handers in 5 through second place. But our tournament leader is the man to beat. He's the only righty to survive the 42 games. He's in the announce booth with me now, Robert Lawerence. Robert, what gave you the edge to stay right up there at the top when all the lefties were pushing you all week?
Well, there's a lot of good left-handed scratch bowlers back in Texas, and I bowled a lot of scratch tournaments against them, and it prepared me mentally to not feel at a disadvantage when they've got a good shot.
Well, that's a great attitude. Now, the scores have been fantastic this week, and 242 average for all of you 5 players. Predict the final score for me.
258, 239.
Who's going to win?
Me.
Robert Lawerence. All right, very confident. Now, the PBA has set up a very easy lane pattern, I feel, this week on synthetic lanes. Here's the way the PBA has set them up. I call it a Christmas tree pattern. There's light oil outside, a concentration in the center, and then light oil on the left side. Now, here's the angle the players are taking to the pocket. The left-handers are starting around the center of the lane, swing out to the first arrow, the very edge board, and swing back into the 1-2 pocket. Now, the right-hander, Robert Lawerence, our tournament leader, is playing the big hook. He's starting on the left side, all the way out to the edge, very close to the gutter, and into the 1-3 Chris. A lot of money at stake.
Yes, here in Sacramento, the winner will receive $23,000, $12,000 for runner-up, $7,500, $6,000, and $5,000. 2 left-handers, 2 of the 4, as Bo had mentioned, are in our very first match. Mike Aulby on the right. What can you say about a man that's won 19 championships, including the United States Open, the ABC Masters, and the PBA National, the only pro to be named both Rookie of the Year and Bowler of the Year. From Indianapolis, shot number 1. 10-pin on the left lane of this championship pair. Beautiful bowling center, part of the American Recreation Center string of 27 in California and Texas.
You're right, Chris. 50 lanes in this bowling center, 40 in a row, and then at an L-shaped angle, an additional 10. All synthetic lanes, no wood involved on these lanes, and it's a very smooth surface. The approaches are nice, the lanes roll very smoothly, and we expect some really good scores.
And Bo, I'm very proud of you, finishing 44th. You were ahead of your fellow Missourian Steve Wunderlich by 1.
Well, we had a good week. I enjoyed it. I've been bowling some league play. I practiced about 20 games a week before I came out here for the last month, and it was very exciting. I was a little nervous, as these players are in their first shot, but it worked out well. Now, here's Parker Bohn, first shot.
5-time champion from Freehold, New Jersey. Delightful guy, very talented, and very professional.
Parker Bohn, just an ideal style, good arm swing. He's inside out. Watch him drop that swing in next to his left hip, project the ball wide out on the lane. Now you see the ball drifting a little high, the 3 taking out the 6. Parker off to a good start up in the second frame.
Winner of the Steve Nagy Award, back-to-back. And he left a 7-pin on the left lane.
Almost all spares this week were single-pin spares. The players had no trouble hitting the pocket. You see Parker Bohn with that wide angle out to the left edge. And the 4-pin, the second pin on the left-hand part of your screen, doesn't quite do its job. Leaves the 7. Parker will go across lane from the right side. A lot of extra speed, over 20 miles an hour. Throw the ball straight and hopefully knock it off.
Here's a man who in 1990 was on TV 6 times and won 3 from the top seed. Now, Mr. Alby won his 19th title, the Greater Hartford Open, as the number 3 seed. He's number 4 coming in here. Done a lot of practicing here at this bowling establishment, as his wife's family lives here.
Alby with just an ideal style that has allowed him to win 19 titles on a championship. You see him going wide, head pin to the sideboard, taking them all down.
Well, that was sort of a Hoosier slap by Mike Aulby. His residence with his wife Tammy and son Christopher. So Mike Aulby comes with a double, and there's Tammy. Born in Monterey, California. What an artist.
Alby gets a great break there. He lost the ball on a downswing, but direction is 95% of this game, especially any game played with a round ball. Gets a great break and starts with a double. Now Bohn up in the third, trails by 10.
And again, it's a 7-pin, but this time on the right lane. Tall and lanky, 5'11", 150 pounds, 28 years old. Mike Aulby is actually quite young at 31.
That's the prime for a Pro Bowler, ages of 28 to 38. Take a look at Parker Bohn. Uses the fingertip grip. Fingers are inserted down to just the first knuckle. Has that wrist flattened out for the spare. No hook.
Parker Bohn III told us earlier how active he really is on the tour.
Well, but when I'm home, I try to do some activities such as fundraisers. In the fall, when the fall tour was done, I went and did a couple, 2 or 3 weekends fundraisers. One was up in the Albany area, one was in North Jersey. And as a matter of fact, this year, the Johnny Petraglia Open, when I'm home, we do a fundraiser for the New Jersey Tournament of Champions, which is athletic events for special education children. We help raise funds.
That was the voice of Parker Bohn referring to Johnny Petraglia, one of the 3 Triple Crown winners and another left-hander.
Bohn throwing the ball a little bit too hard on this particular shot. Speed control is very important on synthetic lane surfaces. Slides by and leaves the 3, 6, 9. By no means an easy spare. The key pin, the 9 pin.
Oh, wow. Put your heart in your throat, but it's a spare nonetheless. Okay, we'll return after this.
You're cleared for takeoff. Do you read? Those 2 scoops of racing taste so good, you'll find that once you start, you can't leave behind. It's those 2 scoops that taste too good. Pour yourself away. 2 scoops that taste too good, too good, too good. In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, 2 scoops.
Alka-Seltzer Plus goes to the Arctic Circle, where the toughest colds live.
Alka-Seltzer Plus takes care of the aches, the runny nose. Alka-Seltzer Plus has done exactly what I've needed it to do. It does the job.
Alka-Seltzer Plus, tough medicine for tough winter colds.
Living, no better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day.
No better way to face the day, find it.
To accommodate more people here in Sacramento, California, bleachers at the far end. The approach is here. Standing room only crowd as we look at Mike Aulby, who won his first title, 19 years of age. It was the PBA National in 1979. Double up. He's going for a 24-pin lead, but he leaves the 2-pin on the right lane.
Alby just pulled that ball. All he has to do really on these lanes, there's an ideal shot, is get that ball wide. Look at this shot. And then watch this. It'll really tell you where he has to play. You see that ball coming out. Doesn't quite get to that first board, the little lighter colored board, and drifts high, breaks down the spare, and leaves the 2-pin. Easy spare for Alby. But get it wide, it'll strike almost every time.
Yes, Mike Aulby needs only to win the Firestone to complete his Triple Crown bid. He shares his thoughts about the future.
Well, obviously, I'd like to win the Firestone, and I always work hard at that. I work hard at every tournament, whether it's a Firestone or not. So the main thing I try to do is go out, give it 100%, and do all I can do and try to win every tournament.
The Firestone would be Mike's culmination of the Triple Crown, Firestone U.S. Open, and PBA National. Only 3 other players have won it. Now he leads by 13, 5th frame.
3 players are Billy Hardwick, Pete Weber, and of course Johnny Petraglia that I mentioned a little bit earlier.
Parker Bohn putting a piece of tape in his thumb hole. It's nice and comfortable in this bowling center, and the thumb has a tendency to go down. Players are very particular on getting the right feel. And a bowler will hold that ball in the palm of the hand. Look at how Parker holds it in the palm of the hand. Keep it there and snap that wrist.
Leaving a 6-pin on the right lane.
First, we talked about scratch bowlers, or Robert Lawerence alluded to it at the opening. And basically, we call a scratch bowler a 200 average player. These players obviously are much above 200, as between Parker Bohn and Mike Aulby, they average 250 on this championship pair. So quite a standard to keep up with.
Well, Parker continues to mark. Bo, a little later, will give you the top 24 finishers. I'll have a chance. I'd like to tell you that Del Ballard finished 28th, Pete Weber 29th, Marshall Holman 30th, Tom Baker 34th, Norm Duke 39th.
We'll see different positions of the players on the lane, but the key spot's going to be where they cross. They're going to cross out here. You watch, he'll slide about right here. You see this. Now, here's the line that he wants to roll, and make sure to keep that ball wide.
So it's a 2-4-7 for the lefty.
Parker's doing something that he does not want to do. I watched him the last 2 days. He was keeping his hand underneath the ball. As you see, the ball hooking a little too much, leaving the 2, 4, and 7. He wants to keep his hand underneath the ball and let the lane do the work. He's what we do call turning it a little bit early. Tucks his hand, tucks that pinky. Now keep that ball in the palm of the hand and don't go over the top of it.
And he was helped in an early bowling career by Dave Davis and his wife, Joanne. Mark Roth, too, one of Parker's heroes, and why not? One of the great champions like Mike Aulby, at whom we're looking, who has the lead by 17 with a strike up, shooting in the 6th frame. What do we do here, Nelson?
Well, Alby, actually a bad shot. I mean, these lanes are nice enough. He gets to the line a little quickly. His shoulders are bent over his knees, which he doesn't get the leverage. And what he needs to do is get the ball over to the right of the 3-pin, drive the 3 into the 7. Not a real tough shot for Alby. He needs this to maintain that 17-pin lead.
All-out effort. Missing.
Alby with the shoulders a little forward, kind of stuck on the approach. Now, Mike has a normal sliding shoe on, but he has a special right shoe. His pivot step shoe has all rubber all over it for these synthetic approaches. So, obviously, it didn't work on that particular shot. If you'll see Alby's, which we can't see here, Alby here, he'll roll it here. He'll be quickly out in this area. Watch this line. The key is to get it wide.
And still not that pocket hit he was looking for. His lead is decreased to 3 pins. And Tammy concerned, looking a moment ago at the overhead score sheet.
Mike Aulby has 2 methods he shoots the 3-5-6 spare with. One, he plays the big hook ball off the left edge or a strike ball, or he can throw it very hard down the right side. So here he goes. Watch the wide swing.
Nice job on the 3-5-6 for Mike Aulby, winner of 19 championships in a 13-year professional career. We'll be back in Sacramento soon.
Fortunately, my heart attack wasn't the end of the world. It was kind of a beginning. To help prevent a second attack, my doctor prescribed exercise, eating right, and Therapy Bear Enteric Aspirin. Enteric means it's safety-coated to help protect your stomach, because it doesn't dissolve in your stomach. I asked my doctor if this regimen with Therapy Bear Enteric would really make a difference down the road. That's why I'm doing it myself, he said.
Therapy Bear Enteric Aspirin. Take it from your doctor.
ABC Sports and Nutmeg Mills have come together to create ABC Sportswear. ABC Sportswear by Nutmeg. Now, for the real sports fan, the best is here.
Golf's biggest names head to the Big Island of Hawaii for the big one, the Senior Skins Game, beginning next on ABC Sports.
Yes, for great golfers, head-to-head. We have head-to-head bowling competition here, the best. This is Parker Bohn, Freehold, New Jersey, trailing by 3, a spare up, 7th frame. And now he'll have a chance to shoot that spare, that 3-7 that Mike Aulby missed a little while ago, and cut his lead from 17 pins down to only 3. It's just another example. If you miss, make an error in bowling, you can never recover. You have to start all over again. But here's the shot. Way to the left of center now. Left-hander Parker Bohn. Perfect lay. Great conversion, Nelson.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. And with me is Joe Salvemini. Joe, obviously Parker made a great shot, but all week long we watched the ball hook back from the gutter and end up in the pocket. Now it's hanging. Does that kind of worry you?
No, it doesn't worry me. I think they've been doing that all week long, off and on. And it's just a matter of getting the right ball in your hand. I went through 6 balls this week, and it's just a matter of picking the right one up and hopefully throwing it good and open up the lane.
All right. He's very confident. He'll play the winner of this match. Back to you, Chris.
Very confident. Well, he was successful with that shot on the right lane, and as he scratches his head on Parker, I don't blame you one bit. 6 telecasts in 1990, winning 3. Last year, 1991, 4 TVs, the 5th, the 4th, the 2nd, and a 5th, earning $69,000. And Mike Aulby always looking away from what's happening in front of him. In this case, the shot of Bohn, 3-7. And like Mike, misses after a successful split conversion. So now, Mike Aulby is back to a 19-pin lead.
Aulby with that special right shoe. You'll see him for his pivot step on his slide shoe, and a good push-off is important. There, he hits the line solid this time.
Oh, count him.
Chris, we're seeing something that's very similar we've seen the last couple of weeks. Number one, the players had the ball swinging back from the edge all week long, and right now they have to point it up. There's 2 schools of thoughts. Here he can go over here and try to slide the 6 over into this area. This is the best way to make it. Or he can go over in this area and try to bounce a pin off, and I suggest going for the 3 for the pin count.
And which the great champion does. 60th telecast. 222 average for Mike Aulby. Next Saturday, our Professional Bowlers Tour and our 30th anniversary season heads deep into the heart of Texas. The Quaker State Open coverage begins at 3 Central, or 3 Eastern and 2 Central, right here on ABC. And that was a photo of Harry Sullins, our winner last week, and he is our scorekeeper today.
Just 2 pins difference. They are going into the last 2 frames. Both players going at a 170-some pace. Aulby with the advantage. Key 9th frame.
So now it's a 2-pin for Mike Aulby on the left lane. If you just joined us, we're in our very first match. The winner to meet another left-hander, Joe Salvemini.
Chris, the ball just hanging out there. The players are trying to start the ball up towards the pocket instead of swinging it wide, and it's very uncharacteristic of what we have seen here in the previous 4 days. The players are confused, but the match is still up for grabs.
Just does come up. Mike Aulby.
I think, Chris, as you said about Alby, is the hardest thing to adjust to is when you're playing that extreme outside line and you don't get the proper ball reaction. In other words, it's such a volatile shot. It's either strike or nothing, and right now it's all nothing. But the winner of this match has a little chance to figure it out against Salvemini, but it's up for grabs. Bohn trails by 2. Now, he tried to make an adjustment, and the ball just got wild. He moved into around the first arrow. The players have never had to play in the center of the lane all week long. Bohn takes, look at where that ball position is on the lane. It's not that wide shot we've seen all week long, and obviously there's nothing there to work with. Bohn has drawn a very tough spare right here, the 1, 2, 4.
And for Parker, it's his 3rd open frame in this first match, and Once those lights come on and the pressure, it makes a big difference. I don't care what they average throughout the week.
I agree, Chris, but you see what happened. The ball breaks very sharply the last 10 or 15 feet, and it's the only way you could cut the 2-pin out there. But the oil is carried too far down the lane. A tough shot for these guys, but the match is still up for grabs.
Lane conditioning. Wow.
Tough. There's an old saying that a player is a residue of the lane condition on adjusting his shot. Now, Parker Bohn with still a chance to win this match. Leaves the 3, 6, 7, 9. He has a chance to make it, but very difficult shot.
Rob. It was so beautifully tried and executed. He left the 7-pin, and he has shot a 153.
Alby's going to win this match, and just reflecting on something I have seen from my first week back bowling, Chris, over the last 3 years, the lanes on the tour are hooking so much more than when I quit 3 years ago, and that may make a big difference there in the championship race. That's a winner for Alby.
All right. Mike Aulby. The winner will be the winner of this first match, and not that all thrilled, because he is not bowling the way he wants to, nor did Parker Bohn. All right. So Mike Aulby has defeated Parker Bohn and will meet Joe Salvemini. ABC Sports presentation of the Pro Bowlers Tour will return.
UCLA, Louisville, or North Carolina, Georgia Tech, next Sunday on ABC Sports.
Sumo, flat out, more power than you've ever seen in a bowling center.
First Contact wrote the book on cold medicine, and now a new chapter, Contact Day and Night. Day caplets for non-drowsy cold relief. Night caplets to relieve your symptoms to let you rest. New Contact Day and Night, a whole new chapter in cold relief.
Living, no better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day.
No better way to face the day, find it.
Sunday,
Do you know where you're going?
relive the adventure. Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, and Danny DeVito.
I'm stealing this.
Romancing the Stone Sunday. Winning time is here. On Super Sunday, the more they score, the better chance you have to win. Check it out. Pick up your Super Scores game piece. Enjoy the game with Coors Light. Every time the score changes, 500 great prizes will be given away to callers. You could be one of them. If the score on your Coors Light game piece matches the final score, you could win a Jeep Cherokee and $1 million. Look for details at the Coors Light Super Scores display and wherever Coors Light, and Coors Extra Gold are sold. It could be you who makes the biggest score of the game.
You never know what kind of copier dealer you got until you have a problem. But when you call a Minolta dealer...
Hello, Harrisburg Copiers. Bob Louis speaking. May I help you?
You'll always have a dealer who makes service and response a #1 priority. So if you buy a Minolta copier from us, we'll leave no problem unsolved and no question unanswered.
Weather with Rob Dixon, tonight at 6 on 27 News.
The Pro Bowlers Tour. Brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By Tartar Control Crest, the dentist choice to help keep your teeth tartar-free. And by Kellogg's, proud sponsor of our 1992 U.S. Olympic team.
We're back again. ARC Sacramento Open. Mike Aulby, 19-time champion, has eliminated Parker Bohn with a score of 176 to 153. 4 strikes for Alby, 1 for Bohn. Now it's Joe Salvemini on the right of your screen, who is moving in against the 19-time champion. Joe with 3 titles. 2 of his 3 wins came from the top seed. He's the #3 seed now. First time today, the crowd, they like him. He was born in San Francisco, but bowls out of Oklahoma City now.
In one of his last practice balls, he threw it in the gutter. Let's see if that shakes him up.
It didn't go in, but it was so close it was frightening.
All right, here's what's happened. We saw that last week in the very low-scoring match at the Showboat Invitational. Once again, we see the oil carrying down the lane. I showed you in the opening of the telecast that the PBA lane maintenance crew had placed oil 41 feet down the lane. The action of the bowling ball has carried it farther down the lane. The players have no consistent break point, and there's not much they can do.
Well done.
Chris, and one other point, Mike Aulby, who won the first match, was allowed to practice on the pair to the left of the championship pair, which is oiled identically to the way this pair was an hour ago. He struck on every ball because that pair, the ball still hooks back to the pocket.
So only a 3-pin instead of a baby split for Mike.
You see, Alby, this ball struck every day for 4 straight days out here. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That ball would swing back to the pocket. Unfortunately for Alby, if he starts it towards the pocket, it breaks too much and goes wildly to the right.
So he's using 2 bowling balls here today.
Right. Alby's brought a whole armament of bowling balls. He probably has 8 of them in the building. He could get another one. He's brought 2. He's brought one that he used in warming up, and one that hooks a little bit more he's switched to. Now you see the grip of Alby. Once again, he's using a little less of a full grip. He puts his fingers in just past the first knuckle, tucks those index finger and the baby pinky, but he's going for the big hook right here.
Well, there's a split that he missed in his previous match, although he won it 176 to 153. Alby.
Alby, once again, he started the first game with a plastic or a polymer bowling ball, and now he's switched to what we call the urethane bowling ball, which should hook more, but he's still not getting the desired results. Slides by the head pin, and for the 3rd time today, we've seen the 3-7 split.
Not successful on the conversion. So Salvemini jumps out to a 13-pin lead. Now shooting in the 3rd frame. 27 through the 2nd. Joe is either confused or disgusted. Maybe both.
You're right, Chris.
Maybe both.
You see the 5-step delivery of Salvemini, kind of a 2-piece arm swing. He brings it behind his back, then realigns it. Now it's in perfect position, sends it wide. And he really threw this what he thought was very well, but not playing the break on the lanes, in trouble. The 1-2-7.
Oh, well done.
Great shot by Salvemini. Plays it off the edge, drives the ball into the head pin. The ball takes out the 3. Here it comes, slides by, knocks the 3-pin out. The head pin goes to sideboard, takes out the 7. Salvemini has a 10-pin lead, but once again, the lead can go back and forth when you're confused.
First strike for Salvemini of Oklahoma City. Winner of this game between Joe and Mike Aulby will be Mike Scroggins of Amarillo, Texas, product of West Texas State University. And for Mike Aulby, who had 4 strikes in victory, his first of his 2nd game. Speaking of games, ABC Sports, immediately following us, except on the West Coast, presents 4 of the biggest names in golf. Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Lee Trevino, and Chichi Rodriguez. Big money, every hole in the senior skins game. Chichi Rodriguez, what a guy. In fact, there are 3 legends along with him, and it'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Arnie played well down the Bob Hope Classic, so he should be a contender. Now, Alby needs a double to even the match.
So Mike has left the 3-5.
Alby kind of went to school on Salvemini's strike in the third frame. What he did is he moved farther to the left on the approach and threw the ball much harder to take out the break and get it to come up to the pocket. A little more difficult shot than they played all week long, but you have to do what you got to do to win these matches.
Okay, we're in Sacramento, California. Sightseer's delight. Here's some music trivia for you. Can you name this chart buster from 30 years ago? Listen.
If you're into looking good, get into Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up, never let you down.
You can taste it, feel it, know you got it right. 'Cause everything else is just a light. Everything else is just a light. Everything else is just a light. Everything else.
So, how's it looking there? Really? Sorry to hear that. I meant to, but I just have been very busy. I've been brushing, but just not with the tartar control crest.
Tartar Control Crest helps stop tartar where it starts. It penetrates plaque before it hardens for easier cleanings, and more dentists recommend it.
That was easy. You know, I've been using a tartar control crest.
The dentist's choice is the easy choice.
Ever hear this stuff?
They're mean, they're lean, and they're hungry for some Texas tea. Bowling's big guns shoot it out at the Quaker State Open next Saturday on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour.
This is Joe Salvemini, 36-year-old professional. Didn't really get serious about the game till he was 25. He covered the 247 for a spare in the fourth now. He's shooting the 3-pin for another spare. He's going against Mike Aulby. Mike, the 19-time champion, looking for his 20th win today. It's a very close match. Mike, trailing by 9, has a spare up. He's shooting in the 5th frame. His last win, the Greater Hartford Open. And he left a 5-pin. As we mentioned in his first game victory, won his first title, the PBA National, when he was 19 years old. Now, the oldest professional to win a championship was our longtime friend Buzz Fazio of Battle Creek. Buzz's last victory was in the 1965 Sacramento Open. He was 56 years of age. And we all hope Buzz is doing well in Battle Creek, and as well as his wife, Bobby. Okay, Bo.
Thank you, Chris. Mike Scroggins, you'll be in the semifinal. And Mike, have you ever bowled on a lane condition where the oil carried so far down and became so difficult?
Not usually on the left. Now on the right it does that a lot, but on the left it never does that because you don't have as many left-handers. So this is going to be an experience.
Well, you have more power than these other two players. You think you can overpower them from the edge?
Hopefully. I was swinging it all week while other players couldn't, so hopefully I'll try it today again.
He may have the solution. We'll know in a minute, Chris.
Hi, Mike. Come on.
Aulby shooting in the 6th frame, getting only his 2nd strike of this match, and it brings his only smile and that on Tammy's face. She is the young lady, the artist that designed the PBA triple logo. Now Salvemini. His wife Kim is here. Joe gets his 2nd strike with a spare out. There's Kim. Okay, Joe Salvemini was a late bloomer, picking up the sport after age 20. We asked to what he attributed his success.
I think I became successful because I was athletic, even though it took me a while to get into bowling. Once I picked it up, I seemed to pick it up pretty quickly. Instinct carried me over, and I just worked real hard at it. I'd also like to make a mention of some family members, friends of mine in Reno. A friend of mine passed away a month ago, and he was real close to me, and my thoughts go out to his family and everybody there. And Bud, this one's for you.
Well done, Joe. And Joe leaving himself another single pin spare to work on. Bo having that strike up.
He has the 3-pin, a simple spare, and the two big improvements. He said he's working on his game, and he is an instinct player. Our number one is spare game, which he has a simple spare here, and speed control. I think he's made the proper move for a match game style. He's playing a soft, big hook all week long. He's moved farther to the left. He's throwing the ball much harder, taking some of the breakout. I think that may be the way for Salvemini to conquer this pair.
Okay. Close match, our second, Salvemini and Alby. We'll have more of it when we return to Sacramento, California.
You can do it with True Value.
Upgrade your workshop and your results with all this. The Master Mechanic 19-piece socket and wrench set, just $29.99. And their professional 25-foot power tape, only $8.88, is ergonomically designed. Get more torque for easy turning. The Master Mechanic 4-piece power torque screwdriver set is just $7.88 at your local True Value, the neighborhood hardware store with national chain store buying power.
So I'm in the grocery store, and this really good-looking guy smiles at me and says,
Hi.
Hi. Kellogg's Bread Flakes?
Oh, well, these aren't mine. My folks are visiting.
He didn't have to be embarrassed. I love Kellogg's Bran Flakes. They have this nutty, toasted wheat taste that is really great. Anyway, I grab a box of Kellogg's Bran Flakes and say, gee, that's too bad. I was going to compliment your good taste.
The toasted taste of Kellogg's Bran Flakes.
They're not what you expect.
It's our U.S. champions like you've never seen them before. It's special performances presented by Diet Coke and NutraSweet next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Mike Aulby of Indianapolis shooting the 7-pin on the left lane, 8th frame. What a strike in the 7th to double, make a mild comeback. And now with the spare in the 8th, Salvemini, at whom we're looking, leads by 1 pin, spare up shooting in the 8th frame, our second match of the afternoon in Northern California.
Hmm.
5-9.
Salvemini gets a good break there as the head pin wrapped around and tapped out the 10 pin and moved it, which fell forward and knocked out the other difficult pins. So right now he would trail by 1 if he converts. Chris Alby has made a move towards the center of the lane. He's playing the 3rd arrow. He's moved about 10 boards with his feet and is trying a different shot and has made it a close match.
Ooh, just does mark. We're in Sacramento, often called a halfway city because it's a mere 90 miles from San Francisco to the west. And to the east, about 90 miles, the foothills of the awesome Sierra Nevada mountains. A lot to do in a short travel here.
You bet you, one of the really nice towns in the western part of the country. Salvemini cocking that hand underneath the ball, fingertip grip, 9th frame, trails by 1. The match is up for grabs. Big shot. Just can't seem to figure it out, Chris. Left the 3-10 baby split. Much easier for a lefty. All he has to do is get the ball to the right of the 3-pin in this area. Let the ball carry into the 10. Now, being a left-hander, the ball breaking that way, it's much easier. If he converts his spare, he will trail by 3 through 9.
Errors continue.
Well, 14-pin lead, and now here Alby. Now let's watch what Alby's done. We saw him trying to play that critical outside line, and it became very critical today. Now he's moved into the 3rd arrow, about 10 inches from the left-hand gutter.
What an accent put on that shot. Woo.
Well, he's found the combination. He's had every ball in the pocket. While we were away, he struck in the 6th and 7th frames. He left the half 7-pin around the pocket in the 8th, and he struck here in the 9th, and he can close the door on Salvemini with another strike.
The wives, Kim Salvemini on the left and Tammy Alby on the right. Very, very pleasant, lovely ladies.
Alby needs a spare and 7 to lock up the match.
Not to be.
Always left him a spare, left himself a spare that he can miss. He's made this once today, and Alby made a smart move. He threw a hard, straight ball down the right side of the lane, converted the 3-5-6. He needs this spare and 7 pins to lock out Salvemini. Here's the way to do it. Ball coming right through. That and a good count would be a winner. He'd be in the semifinal. Let's see what happens.
As you said.
Nobody's throwing any balls on the right side of the lane. Now, what this sets up for Salvemini is Joe Salvemini needs 2 strikes and 3 pins to win the match. He's looking to the side. Salvemini only has 2 strikes so far in the match, one being on the right-hand lane. Let's see what he does. I think the only thing I could do, Chris, if I was in this position, is move to the extreme left and just throw a hard shot at the 1-2 pocket. You can't gamble on it breaking. He's been light every time he tried it.
There's one, the man that had his last win in 1989 in Austin. His first 2 titles were in 1983 in Florissant and Syracuse.
Well, when he won his first title in Florissant, he was extremely tough in the clutch. He went right to the wall and performed in the clutch, and once again he has to do that right here. He absolutely must strike on this ball to win.
Not to be, leaving the 4-7. Okay, Mike Aulby now. Very, very close matches. This by 2 pins, 183 to 181. Aulby now goes against a non-winner named Mike Scroggins of Amarillo, Texas. That's coming up next. Brought to you by AT&T, proud sponsor of the '92 U.S. Olympic team.
The pursuit of consistency in the performance of bowling lanes has long been a priority on the Pro Bowlers Tour. Tailoring lanes to eliminate any competitive edge has become known as dressing the lanes. Oil is applied to the lane so that all bowlers have consistent conditions from lane to lane and from right side to left. Once, lane dressing was accomplished solely through the haphazard application of oil from a large squirt gun type device. Today, a computer-controlled machine applies oil with efficiency measured in microliters.
The computer sends a message to all the pumps. There's 4 pumps. It sends a message to them to pump injections onto each board, which could be a different amount of oil. From the pumps, it goes onto the transfer rollers, which applies it to the buffer, which applies and buffs it into the lane.
The machine is programmed to apply the optimum amount of oil at specific points along each board of a bowling lane, giving a consistency to lane performance and helping to raise the average score on the Pro Bowlers Tour.
Did you know the cost of 2 9-page fax transmissions from these Philadelphia newspapers to Chicago may surprise you?
I got an exclusive interview.
With AT&T Pro Watts, your business can't get a more accurate way to send a fax.
She talks a lot.
And our prices are extremely competitive. Even though the other company would like you to believe, they always save you lots of money.
Wait a minute. That's news to me. Can I quote you on that?
AT&T Pro Watts, another AT&T advantage.
Fresh taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Bud Light delivers.
Call now to feel the excitement of the perfect game.
Oh, yeah.
Thrill to the making of a 7-10 split.
Wow, let's replay that, baby.
And enjoy historic footage of bowling's legendary champions. ABC Sports presents an all-new home video, Bowling, the Perfect Game. Available only by calling 1-800-4ABC-VCR. Classic moments in bowling history can be yours for the incredible price of $14.98 plus $3 shipping.
All right, we're back again at the Mardi Gras Lanes in a lovely capital city of Sacramento, where Mike Aulby now has won 2 matches. The first against Parker Bohn III, 176 to 153. A little tighter in the next game against Joe Salvemini, 183 to 181. A game that was always in doubt. So now it'll be Alby going against Mike Scroggins of Amarillo, Texas. Mardi Gras Lanes, a capacity crowd. It's good to be in this capital city.
Hey, Chris, and obviously lane conditioning has a lot to do on how well players are scoring, and the PBA uses a lot of different methods to do the lanes. As we see the 160-man field here this week, average game pretty high, but not today. Here's some of the players that were close. Oaks made a good charge. Ron Williams was up there for 3,000. Steve Cook, Purvis Granger, good checks. Hugh Miller. George Bram III says hi to his wife, Jackie. Deadeye. Traver from the Midwest, good player. Brian Beefcake Voss. Chris Warren, $1,900, good check. Westlake had a 300 game last night. Don Moser, steady as usual. German and Benoit. Benoit, the newlywed, picks up $1,500. Rick Steelsmith, watch that man. 3 weeks in a row, top 24. Stayrook and Colton round out the top 24.
All right, our next 2 stops next week. Return to Grand Prairie, Texas. Jeannie Halsey, all the great Texas Shrine Hospital folks, the youngsters as well. Then to the Flagship Open in Erie, Pennsylvania. Both stops we look forward to.
You're right, Chris. And once again, I'll follow up a little bit on the lane maintenance. We showed you how the lanes were oiled by the PBA conditioning crew at the start of the telecast. And they have 7 different methods, I believe, out here. And one of the methods is obviously the Christmas tree type method, where there's a heavy concentration of oil in the center. Right now that oil is carried down and made a very difficult shot for the players.
Mike thought he had them all, but left the 7-pin on the left lane. His opponent in this semifinal game, Mike Scroggins, and waiting in the wings to meet the winner of the game, his right-hander, Robert Lawerence of Austin, Texas. Big opportunity for Mike's opponent. Defeated Mike in match play, 258, 256. But if you've been with us, it's a different story today. Big difference. But Mike Aulby is 1-2, looking for his 20th title and looking for his very first is this 27-year-old from Amarillo.
Mike Scroggins has averaged 254 all week long on the championship pair. He's the one real power player among the lefties. Let's see if he can conquer the championship pair today that's given everybody trouble.
Oh, he starts out with that big strike. First television appearance ever from Mike Scroggins, who has a brother, Mark, who's trying the tour, hoping to join it soon, that is.
Scroggins, I like the way he gets the ball in the swing. He gets it behind his back, then lines it up with a target, and has a whipping action that kind of whips through the ball. Excellent strike ball, and he does it so easily. Full grip, tucks that hand underneath the ball. Great strike ball, needs to get it going.
Leaving the 2-7 on the left lane.
Looks like his style will have no better result than some of the other players, as he needs to get the ball left of the head pin, left of the 2-pin, and slide that ball into 7. Get the ball in this area, let the ball bounce in the 7. With that big hook ball, a very difficult shot for Scroggins.
Does it with finesse. Okay, Mike Aulby now. Back up, marked with a spare in the first frame. Good look at Mike, who is 27 years old, third-year member of the PBA. Highest finish ever for Mike was 14th in Denver. Another 7-pin for Mike Aulby.
You know, it's interesting, Chris, when players can throw strikes, they get up there very quickly and they bowl. When they're having to study every shot out, think of everything, they're thinking about their arm swing, their release, they take a much longer time to bowl. So Salvemini in the last match went by the 25-second rule and was fined $100. Alby, who takes the full grip on the ball, kills the shot on this one for the 7-pin, not quite taking as long.
Okay, next Sunday, that's February 2nd, ABC Sports tips off Domino Pizza's college basketball with a doubleheader. First at 1:30 Eastern, you'll see the undefeated number 2 UCLA Bruins. They battle Louisville. Or you may see the Tar Heels of North Carolina take on Georgia Tech. Then at 3:45 Eastern, it's more regional coverage. Game number 2, Kentucky heads to Baton Rouge to meet LSU, or you'll see Missouri take on Oklahoma State. Alby from the great basketball state of Indiana. There is another possibility. You may see out west Oregon State taking on Arizona. Doubleheader action next Sunday. That's February 2nd here on ABC.
My Missouri Tigers a surprise this year. Now Alby, who is trailing by 3 pins, cross lane for the 4-7. I like the way Alby shoots these spares. He kills the ball, no hook, slides it right in.
Mike Aulby, who picks the Redskins to win the Super Bowl tomorrow, as did Parker Bohn. Our tournament leader, Robert Lawerence, however, picks Buffalo.
Okay, let's see how Scroggins grabs the ball. He uses the full fingertip grips, jams those fingers down just to the first knuckle, tucks it under there, has a whipping action and good wrist action. I like his strike ball. He's a loosey-goosey type player.
Mike Pamarillo, living the 6'10".
Boy, Chris, he's walking around with such a positive attitude. Walking around fast, good look on his face, very confident looking, yet tough lane condition and first time on championship round.
They must teach him that at West Texas State University. Look at Mark McDowell.
Mark McDowell, the president of the PBA, won our first championship this year, the AC Delco Classic.
Today marks Mike Scroggins' first championship round appearance. So we naturally asked how he got started on the pro circuit.
Well, Bo, I started bowling really with West Texas State. I bowled with Mark McDowell and Jack Jurek, and they really gave me a lot of inspiration and coaching, and I saw how good they were doing out on tour, so I thought I'd give it a try.
He says his twin brother's application is pending for the PBA Tour.
Well, that'll bring a smile. It'll also help him in his quest for win number 1, a strike in the 4th frame. We'll be back after this.
Ever wonder why your face hurts after you shave? It's simple. When you shave, you lose face because you strip away the moisture that's there to protect it, and that hurts. But now you can start saving face with new conditioning hydrogel from Allspice. Used every day, it adds moisture and keeps it there to help defend against the assault of shaving, so your face feels and stays that way. So why lose face? Use new conditioning hydrogel and start saving face.
I love Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. And I just know someone's going to find out.
What type of adult would come forward and admit to eating a kid's cereal?
I don't just love them, you see. It's more of a craving, a visceral sort of desire.
That sweet crunch in cold milk is a taste no adult can resist.
Honestly, I never even touched the stuff.
Yes, he does.
I'm sold. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
Golf's biggest names head to the Big Island of Hawaii for the big one, the Senior Skins Game, beginning next on ABC Sports.
Back again, a dejected Mike Aulby, just plagued by the single spare, and especially the 7-pin. He covered the 7-pin on the 4th for a spare. He has 4 spares in a row, now a chance to make his 5th spare in a row after 2 victories, but hard-earned ones. 4 7-pins today, and here's the 4th. All right, he's going against Mike Scroggins as we go to Bo.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Lawerence, it looks like easy pickings for you out there. You know the right side's easy.
I'm hoping it's still easy. It was pretty nice in practice, and there's nobody throwing over there to change that.
Pretty confident?
Yeah, I think so. I hope it's my turn, I think.
All right, he predicts a victory, Chris. We'll see what happens.
Right. And And he may have to meet his roommate, this man, Mike Scroggins. What a group, roommates. Del Ballard, Robert Lawerence, Mike Scroggins. And this young man has a fiancée, Melanie Arnett. Melanie, look this way so we can see that pretty face. There.
Can open up a 23-pin lead with a third consecutive strike here. I don't think we've had a turkey today, Chris.
No. All right, there's our first. Alby had 2 doubles, but so there is that 23-pin lead.
You know, something to reflect upon what Joe Salvemini said when we interviewed him. He said the lanes went through a couple of transitions every day. And so in the long term, and sometimes you don't realize they're tough for a game or so when there's a few low games, now the lanes may be coming back around as Scroggins has opened up 3 strikes in a row.
Finally gets his first strike, and it came in the 6th frame of his 3rd game of the afternoon.
Alby, who used to use a 15-pound ball for about 5 or 6 years, has gone back to the 16-pound ball because he realizes it carries better, especially the 7-pin and the 10-pin on the off hits. Is really in a kind of a quandary right here. He's moved inside to accommodate the tough championship pair, but he's trailing in the match by 23 pins. Do you stay with the inside line, or you take a chance and jump back outside? I think if he doesn't strike here, he may jump back outside if Scroggins opens up a big lead.
Well, Mike has kept the Scroggin lead back to 13, and now it has finally become an exciting game in the semifinal. More of it when we return.
Looking good? You want Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up and never let you down.
You got it, you feel it, you know you got it right. Everything else is just like you keep your Bud Light shining. You got it shine on. Everything else is just like. No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day. Start the morning with Speed Stick, the wide stick, for powerful 24-hour protection.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
They're mean, they're lean, and they're hungry for some Texas tea. Bowling's Big Guns shoot it out at the Quaker State Open next Saturday on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour.
To Grand Prairie next week, Bo.
Don Burkett, pitcher for the San Francisco Giants. Chris, he sold one of his cards sold for $20 out here, and then I saw about 10 minutes later, I saw a kid trading 2 Burketts for 1 Chris Schenkel earlier in the day.
Is that true? Well, my pal Mickey Mantle would have something to say about that. Oh, goodness. John Burkett, really a neat guy and loves bowling.
Good bowler. He's one of the few players I've seen who could make the transition from another professional sport and possibly make it in bowling, although he struggled here and finished 151st. Nice-looking guy. Now, Scroggins up in the 7th frames. He'll be up there with a lead of 12 pins with this conversion.
Great promotion here for the ARC Sacramento Open. Diane Hazel Ross and a lot of people, the ARC staff, and the city itself. They've really come out, Bo, to welcome us here and hope that we'll return, and we will.
You bet. Newspaper reporters, Bill Poindexter, some nice articles for the Sacramento Bee. We will be back.
Jim Van Vliet was another as we look at Mike Scroggins.
All right, 8th frame, Scroggins leads by 12. It's up for grabs.
Oh, what nice body English. He's really portraying a very confident, stylish approach to this game.
I agree, Chris. Very confident. That's that college coaching. We've seen so many good college players come out here and they step in the championship round so self-confident. But you can't deny a guy who's earned his medals such as Alby. Alby, 19 titles, trying to be only the 7th man to win 20. Does not give matches away. 8th frame.
Oh, and he need that one. Mike finally has a turkey. 2 doubles coming into this.
Alby with that wide swing. Watch the great break as the ball goes a little bit high. You'll see the 6 and 8 pins standing. Now he gets a little trip off the sideboard for the 8. The 8 falls in the 6. Unusual strike, and now for the first time in the game, Alby can take the lead by 8 with another strike. 9th frame.
No, leaving the 6-10. A little less speed.
Well, Alby has hung as tough as you can in a match. Look at this game he's bowled. 5 spares in the opening 5 frames. Maximized his strikes. He got the 3 strikes. Now if he converts the spare, he'll trail by 4 pins as Scroggins gets up in the 9th. And he's almost kind of hoping, and you can when the lanes are real tough, that your opponent makes a mistake. Scroggins has been awfully tough through 8 frames, but there's still 2 frames left.
The hard way. Now taking a little more time than usual off the approach, Mike Scroggins, because there is a time limit once you get on it.
25 seconds from the time your opponent's ball comes back. Now Scroggins leads by 4, can make it 14. Big shot.
First time on national television for this 27-year-old. I think he's oblivious to everything that's happening around.
Well, Chris, that 9th frame key shot, an old saying to paraphrase it, unconscious competence came through right there. He crossed over, got a Brooklyn, and Alby doesn't want to watch. He knows that Scroggins got a great break, and now Scroggins can slam the door. And if he can win this match, he'll bowl his roommate for the title. But still not over yet. That's a winner.
That's a great finish. Mike Scroggins.
Scroggins just needs a short count. 4 pins should do it, and that's no problem. He won't throw that ball in the gutter by any means. I think Del Ballard taught all the players a lesson, because on today's lane conditions, you often, as we see, have to play that extreme outside line. Scroggins will not take a chance with that.
Okay, finishes with 4 in a row up to this point as ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Jim Fox. It's time. Mike Bell. Time.
Isn't it a shame, owners of cars and trucks seeing them quit before their time?
You're out back.
Maybe the owners don't know about AC Delco, a full line of auto parts designed with proper maintenance to help your car or truck last.
Nick Bickner.
What if everybody knew?
Nick. Debbie? Huh?
AC Delco.
Where is everybody?
It's like buying time.
That's perfect.
Back in 5, Stephanie?
When you're trying to eat right, days like this are a disaster. Is this it?
Stephanie Powers talks about Kellogg's Nutri-Grain.
The only time I really control what I eat is at breakfast. And the whole grain in Kellogg's Nutri-Grain gives me a natural start. No sugar added, no preservatives, nothing fake. No matter what I eat later, at breakfast I call the shots.
Naturally good. Nutri-Grain, the natural place to start.
Wednesday, Barbara Walters talks to Letterman about Carson, Dylan Marlowe about marriage, and Kirsty about the big one. A hot new Barbara Walters special Wednesday.
You hear it all the time. Well, I got it. A new Toyota Camry.
I thought you wanted a bigger car.
It is.
No, I mean like a Taurus or an old Cutlass or something.
Oh, I checked them out. But the new Camry's every bit as big. It's got more power than before, and Camrys hold their value. I love it.
Wait a minute, this sounds like a completely different car.
Toyota value. It really is the best deal going.
which one looks like a better beer?
That one. This one.
This is Michelob, and here's Coors Extra Gold.
Really?
Wow, big difference. 62% of premium beer drinkers prefer Coors Extra Gold in a taste test.
Beer drinkers would know the better beer.
And guess what else?
What's that?
Coors Extra Gold was a 2-time winner at the Great American Beer Festival.
Quite an achievement.
Slow brew for that real beer flavor and color, the way beer was meant to be.
Michelob falls by the wayside.
Coors Extra Gold. If you're missing real taste, beer is back.
14-karat Extra Gold.
First Stalker is behind bars, but not for long, on the next morning.
Sacramento, a welcoming city. We're going into our championship match after 3 games. Mike Aulby winning the first 2, and a non-winner has come in to eliminate the great champion Alby. And it'll be Robert Lawerence of Austin, Texas, going against his fellow Longhorn rooter, Mike Scroggins. Here you see the tournament recap over Salvemini by only 2 pins. A competitive match, most competitive thus far, but the excitement in going back to what's happened here all week, the type of scoring that we've seen, Scroggins eliminating Alby 246 to 221, Bo with 8 strikes in victory.
Well, right, Chris. I think the action's picked up. We talked about the lanes going through a little bit of transition. I think they're ready for some high scores. But 2 points to look at. Number one, Scroggins obviously bowled a really good game with 8 strikes. He's lined up. He's an aggressive player. But then Lawerence ran away with the tournament. He feels he's very comfortable with that outside line.
So we've, let's see, we're starting our 18th year together. Is that right?
That's correct.
I've seen all of your 17 championships. You came back and finished 44th. Are you really going to bowl next week?
I'm going to bowl in Texas next week, and then probably a few more tournaments, and hope we can get into this type of line that these players are playing. As Lawerence continues to warm up, going back to his strategy, there have been no balls really bowled on the right-hand part of the lane. Now, we've seen left-handers come in with, quote, this advantage or disadvantage, but we'll see if a right-hander can actually handle it. So Lawerence feels that he'll have a great advantage by the big hook ball, but, you know, no, Scroggins is still tough. Now Lawerence is still practicing. We don't know who's going to start the match. He gets 10 practice shots.
We mentioned that Robert Lawerence is from Austin, Texas. And my pals Edith and Darrell Royal, of course, from Austin. And our other friend, Willie Nelson, Austin, but he's back in Abbott. Willie's had some tough times with the Internal Revenue Service. But more important, the loss of his son, Billy. So this is one way for us with Robert Lawerence bowling to send our sympathy to Willie Nelson, the loss of his son.
Well, Lawerence, after he takes his shots, he had 4 practice shots in the semifinal match and 6 before this match, so he has made the decision to start the match. He says he's comfortable against bowling against lefties. This is his roommate, and to add a little more pressure to it, Lawerence is on the bubble at the Firestone Tournament of Champions.
And the Hook'em Orange fellow leaves the 3-6-10.
For Lawerence, it's a matter of trusting the ball. He had 12 gutter balls or channel balls or ballard balls, whatever you like, during the week with that swinging outside line, and it's a high-risk, high-reward type of shot. That time he didn't send it wide enough, has the 3-6-10 spare.
Waste no time, Robert Lawerence. 29 years old, Scroggins 27, and as we indicated, roommates. So they'll have a lot more to talk about tonight in their travels to Grand Prairie, Texas. Makes it look easy, Nelson.
Well, he's loosey-goosey, and that type of style is just really conducive to high strikes and high rewards. Now we'll see how Scroggins is attacking the championship pair. He's playing the extreme outside line, but a really good approach angle. Look for his ball to be in this area. Look for his slide to be right in this area. Obviously he's starting here. Now what he wants to do, pretty straight approach, then start that ball wide, hang it on the edge. That's where he gets the best results, going for a double.
And gets it as those pens topple. You know, there's always sad news, but there's also happy news. Congratulations to our new fathers among the bowlers, David Houston, daughter Chelsea, Dave Ferraro, daughter Gabriella, PBA Hall of Famer Barry Asher, And Gable House General Manager Mickey Cohen, a daughter, Carrie. Congratulations.
Sends it wide, leaves the 10-pin. Robert Lawerence on the extreme left side approach has what I call the coast-to-coast shot. Cups that ball with his wrist, sliding over from the left channel, out to the edge, cross.
I probably should explain what that noise was, the ball going down the lane, Bo.
Well, Chris, he switched balls for his spares. He threw a much harder ball, or higher surface friction ball, a lower surface friction ball to cut down the hook. He just whipped it down there. It was hitting the thumb hole. Now let's see how Lawerence is attacking the championship. Look at this. He'll be in this area and swing it in this area. Boom, boom, real wide hook. He must trust it. As what's happening is the ball is not sliding enough in the first 15 feet for Lawerence to get the ball wide. It's actually hooking what we call early on the tour. It's not getting out to that break point. Now for the 310, get the ball in this area. Once again, we've seen this shot earlier today. Let the ball take out both the 3 and 10.
All right. That should give him some confidence because his roommate is hot. He's got a double up and be shooting in the third. Coming up, ABC Sports presents 4 of the biggest names in golf. Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Lee Trevino, Chichi Rodriguez. In the senior skins game, live coverage except on the West Coast begins next here on ABC Sports.
Scroggins, 2 in a row, leads by 11, leads by 13. Right now, 23.
A 3-bagger. He had 8 strikes in his victory over Mike Aulby, 246 to 221.
Scroggins, who has never been in the winner's circle before. In fact, he's only made the championship round once before. That was in Las Vegas. He was the alternate one other time, 25th, and got to fill in. This is only his first television experience. He's on the threshold of taking a 33-pin lead.
And imagine his highest finish on tour was 14th in Denver. Mike Scroggins of Amarillo, Texas, fired up. We'll be back.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day. Start the morning with Speed Stick, the wide stick, for powerful 24-hour protection.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
Bud Bowl 4 is right around the corner, and if you have a ticket, you could win $1 million cash.
I get movie tickets, I get concert tickets, I get a speeding ticket. Well, I get a Bud Bowl ticket.
You'll find your ticket where you buy Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry Draft beer.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding. What are you waiting for?
I'm going.
Pick up your ticket at a participating store, and you just might be a winner. Bud Bowl 4, this time it's for $1 million.
Looking for his first victory, Mike Scroggins of Amarillo, Texas, is bowling against another Texan, Robert Lawerence of Austin. With 4 strikes in a row, Scroggin leads this man by 33. Spare up 4th frame. Robert Lawerence was voted Mr. Clutch on the tour in 1990, but in 91 he struggled. He talked about his recent problems.
Well, I was having a lot of fun in 1990. I was real relaxed. I had a good breathing technique that kept my heart rate down and kept me real relaxed the whole time. I was real happy to be voted Clutch Player of the Year. In 91, I started pressing a little bit. I got tight, and I felt like I got away from my game. And when I wasn't comfortable, I couldn't make the shots I needed to make in the 10th frame.
Crossing over, Robert Lawerence, leaving the 3-pin.
as Scroggins works the rosin over and has to be sitting there confidently as he knows his good friend and opponent, Lawerence, is lost on the left-hand lane. Fiancé saying, hey, you're doing all right through 4. 6 more frames, though. You got a tough cookie in Lawerence.
His late father owning a bowling center in Austin, which prior to that was owned by Hall of Fame football quarterback Bobby Lane in Austin. Man with 4 in a row. Bo, it's a little, here's a tough shot, maybe.
You bet, Chris. When they've seen it a few times today, that ball just sliding by the head pin. If they just don't catch it all, they leave that 3-7 split. And we've seen it converted one time today. And all he has to do is get that ball over in this zone, drive the 3 into the 7. 5th frame. His lead drops from 33 to 17 immediately and throws Robert Lawerence right back in the match. Now for Lawerence, who has had a little bit of different problem than some of the other players, the lefties, his problem is too much hook. The lefties haven't had enough. Lawerence has to just pick up his ball speed and he'll be right back in the match. Let's see how Scroggins recovers from his first Open on the championship pair in 1.5 games.
Great comeback. Mike Scroggins. Amarillo, Austin's Robert Lawerence now with a spare up.
Lawerence, the youngest of 7 children. Another man who is the one of 7 children, Walter Ray Williams Jr. from the local area, Stockton, had another good week.
The 310 on the right lane for Lawerence. Winner here to get $23,000, the loser $12,000.
You see how Lawerence is attacking this championship pair. Look at how low he gets at the foul line. Good hand turn over the top of the ball, but just too much hook. As once again we saw the lefties with oil too far down the lane. For Robert Lawerence, he's having trouble because his ball's hooking too much. Trouble. Lawerence, who came through the regional ranks in 1989, he's a member of the Southern Region, won over $92,000 without bowling on the big tour, the national tour. Won most of that in the singles championship in San Antonio, a non-affiliated pro tournament, and over $40,000 on the regional tour. You look at the full approach. Lawerence has not even come close on this lane.
Using the full approach and leaving the 4-pin in a national scratch game championship netted him 50 grand, huh?
Both these players have won the national match game scratch championship down in San Antonio, Texas. A non-pro event pays $50,000 first, but right now it's the big money on the Pro Bowlers Tour. Robert
Lawerence is on the bubble for the Firestone Tournament of Champions.
You know what? Robert Lawerence is going to be off the bubble in a minute here, Chris, because Scroggins is going to put him away. This is just a tremendously big error when he's struggling, and he just opens the door for Scroggins, who has a 41-pin lead coming up in the 7th frame. A dejected Lawerence. Scroggins can put him 51 pins in arrears.
These are bowling fans in Sacramento. There are a lot of them in this establishment, the Mardi Gras lanes.
Scroggins, 6 strikes and 7 frames, 1 open. 51-pin lead can extend to 61 in the 8th.
Starting to become more animated now. 3-bagger. He opened with 4 in a row, and look at him. Can't in disbelief, Nelson.
14 strikes in the last Threshold of his first title. Lawerence, a few cosmetic strikes here will make it look better, but he's not going to win today.
And, of course, to get back into the Firestone Tournament champions, he'll have to win again.
And he will. We have 12 more weeks before the Firestone. This is our third week of 16 on the ABC Pro Bowlers Tour, 1992 version. Now, Robert Lawerence, a potential 203 if he can strike out, finish with 5 in a row. Scroggins right now going at a 2:34 pace.
He won't give up.
Well, what Scroggins has to just watch against is the gutter ball. He doesn't even really need marks to win this match. He just has to keep it on the lane. I'm sure he knows the score, but the only thing that could possibly open the door for Lawerence would be a foul or a gutter ball.
Oh, he was awfully close on that shot.
Well, Chris, youthful, free spirit. He has won his first championship in classic style, defeating 2 great champions, Mike Aulby and Robert Lawerence, and has opened up a spot for himself in the Firestone Tournament champions in April. Possible 264.
Performing today like the nimble quarter horse, documented so well in his hometown of Amarillo, Texas.
Well, Scroggins is the only one who came to play in the form that got him there. He averaged 254 in this championship pair during the qualifying games of 42 games. He hit the spare 3 times. He's going to average about 240 today.
Okay, you're looking at a very happy first-time winner. And he has won the ARC Sacramento Open. We'll return to Mardi Gras Lanes after this message.
Thanks for joining us, Susan. What's new tonight?
Nothing, honey.
Can't you make up something, darling?
Kellogg's Nut and Honey Crunch is new with a deliciously sweet new recipe.
Anything new?
Nothing, honey.
Anything changed?
Nothing, honey.
Anything different?
Nothing, honey.
See you tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
It's a whole new Nut and Honey Crunch, and you'll love the nutty sweet taste.
He just won't open up. Watch this. What's new, Pete?
Nothing, honey.
Like a brick wall.
New Kellogg's Nut and Honey Crunch.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus to relieve your cold and cough at the same time. New Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough medicine in the purple box. 2 kinds of relief from only 1 medicine.
You can do it with true value.
Update with the Master Plumber washerless faucet, just $36.95. And redecorate with Edison Pronto Track lighting. The track with 2 lamp holders is just $39.99. Then get the Snap-It wireless signaling system for just $31.88. And the Master Electrician Power Light Combo Pack is only $8.99 at your local True Value, the neighborhood hardware store with national chain store buying power.
To help relieve her heartburn, regular Rolaids uses an aluminum salt, but his antacid is Tums, and Tums has calcium.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Okay, Mike Scroggins wins $23,000. Robert Lawerence, 12. Mike Aulby, 75. Salvemini, 6. Parker Bohn III. Congratulations, Melanie. Your fiancé did beautifully today.
Oh, it was great. The fans here are just awesome. I've never had fans like this.
Well, Robert Chris, president of ARC, with the trophy of Trish Stanionis, the chairperson here, to present the check of $23,000. And congratulations to Robert and Trish and your entire staff for welcoming us